Hi Flosstube, it's Adele. I know you're not seeing things. I've decided to do or try and get out another Flosstube. I've been gone about a year and a half, and that's because I had another baby. He decided sleep was for losers, and so I've been exhausted. He finally started sleeping about a month ago, so I've got a bit more energy now, and I've had a few people ask me if I was going to do another one. I've been meaning to for the last 6 months, but it's been one of those cases of I'll do a Flosstube this week, and then it gets to the end of the week and I'll do it next week. So I haven't got around to it. I'd really like to say thank you to all of the subscribers who stayed subscribed to me for the last year and a half without any videos, and for people who have messaged me saying, you know, are you going to do another one? It's really encouraging. I will probably get straight to it. It's going to be a bit hit and miss as to how this goes because my son's upstairs taking a nap. He's poorly, he's off nursery, so I thought I'd do this during his nap. I don't know how much time I'm going to have. And also, one of my kitty cats won't get off my lap and keeps pawing at me. So we'll see how it goes. So I'll start with some finishes, and yeah, I think if we start, some of them I'm not sure what I showed you last time and where I was, but I think this is most of them. This one I think I'd already finished, but this is my daughter's stocking and Christmas stocking by Dimensions. It's Candy Cane Santa, I think. Candy Cane Santa stocking, something like that. So it's all finished. Needed it. Thanks, Nisi, for the Christmas card. And it's all, I've finished it all. It's all lined with no edges. And yeah, I absolutely love it. I got it out this year for Christmas and hung it up, and I think it's actually my favourite piece that I've ever stitched, just to see it. So I am doing my son one now, which you'll see a bit later. So next, they're not in order. I will just show you what I finished, that I think I finished since last time. So this one is Nisi's cardigan. In fact, I probably should show you Hattie Hedgehog, something like that. These are the Advent animals. They're done on 32 count Belfast in a blue. I can't remember what it's called though. I copied Little Yellow House Crafts, the same. So she also did, it's meant to just be a backstitched border, I think, in the red and white. And she did two lines of cross stitch instead. And she also did it on this blue, what's it called? Blue Spruce. It's called Blue Spruce. So Hattie Hedgehog and Cashmere Camel, I think. I'm not sure where I'm going to put all these finishes while I show you. So let's have a look. There's this one. This is by Samplers Not Forgotten. It's from a Just Cross Stitch magazine, Christmas one. If I don't know and you really want to know, just leave me a comment and I'll get straight back to you and let you know. I did choose my colours myself, and I did notice after I put the last over one stitch in on 40 count, that in the chart this side is moved in more than this side, so I would have actually moved that out a stitch so that it matched, but I don't care. I'm not ripping all that out. It's mine and I will love it anyway. Look, some of these are older. Didn't pick anything up that I could put behind them. Pop that in there. You will hear rustling. I'm going to try and pack up as I go with a 1-year-old, poorly 1-year-old. Yeah, I haven't got a lot of time to clean up. I don't know whether I'd finished this one last time. This was out of, I think it's a World of Cross Stitching or a Cross Stitch Gold magazine. There were like 4 of them. I plan to do 3 of them, and it's just thread work. I don't know whether you can. Don't know whether that's focusing or not. So that's that one. This is Hats Off to Halloween by Lizzie Kate, and thank you to Michelle for the chart because she bought 2 by accident. Yeah, so that one. As I say, I'm not sure when I finished them. I posted them all on Instagram as I finished them, so they will be on there. This is my chatelaine. Again, I think this is called Mini Chatelaine 1. And again, there's 3 of them. So that's that one. Then I recently finished this one. So this is Winter's Frost by the Woolly Ewe. There's that. It's hard to get that. That's more like what the colour of it is. But we'll go up close anyway. So she is a lovely designer. I actually messaged her when I bought these and she was just really helpful. There is another one which I can't remember the name of it, but it's a Santa, I believe. It's in the shape of a moon, or I've got the picture of it in there printed out. And then I recently tea coffee dyed another piece to try and sort of match this one, which I don't think is fairly close enough. I tea and coffee dyed that one as well, that's why. Again, another recent finish. This was going to be one of my Stitch 10 in 20, but I finished it. So this is, I think it's a Little House Needleworks Peppermint Twist. Again, I changed the colours on that, I just picked my own. Let's have a look. I've got quite a few here. I've been on a year and a half. Crows Gather here. So this is on 36 count cauldron by Picture This Plus, I think. I know that I haven't told you the fabrics on all of them. As I say, just send me a message if I haven't said anything. I've got to try and get this done fairly quickly. There we go. Can't remember what designer that is. If you need to know, is it looks like a Sub Rosa. No, maybe it is. I have a feeling it's a freebie, but don't hold me to that. Again, if you want to know, just leave me a comment and I'll find out for you. This one I know is a little Teresa Wentzler one, and it was a little freebie on her website. Hoping you can see these. So the, I don't know whether you can see it, the hummingbird is all over one, and then the border is like a diagonal satin stitch over like 4 threads, and they go different ways to give you the effect. And then this one is a Prairie Schooler, Night Owl or something like that. It was in a magazine, Just Cross Stitch, I think. Although the fabric really warped on this one. I didn't notice until I'd finished stitching it, it was a bit warped. But I'm just going to do it into like a flat fold or a cushion, and I'm sure I can get it all back into shape. Leave them alone. This was one of my daughters, probably don't need to, this was last year's Christmas ornament for my daughter. This is Dancing Snowman by Mill Hill, I think. And I started stitching this one because of Jeanette of Every Little Stitching Thing, I think is her name on Instagram. She's absolutely lovely. She's such a lovely lady. just got a new craft room by her lovely husband. So yeah, there's that one. I'll put those over there actually. And then actually, while I'm here, I might as well. This is my daughter's for this year. So she chose these for her and her brother before her brother was born. And I bought them and then stitched them for them this year. So they each got a stocking. She wanted the Santa, I wanted him to have the snowman. Which is funny because actually their stockings are, she has a Santa and he has a snowman. And then this one is Brouhaha by Plum Street Samplers. It's a freebie on her blog. I did change out some of the colours. I changed one of the cups to, I think I changed the gold one just to give it a bit more colour because it was meant, they were all turning out a bit grey brown. And I changed my initials here to a different colour rather than, didn't I? Did I? Yep, I did. Rather than, and then I just dated it rather than putting my initials in it. Just did it that way. Another one, so this is, what's this one called? Ode to the Aught. Ode to the Aught 2, Ode to the Aught by Brenda Gervais with her needle and thread. I got the tin last year at market. I finished it, just haven't fully finished it. Excuse the nails. What else? Let's have a look. So this one I stitched and fully finished. I stitched exactly the same one for Niecy Lynn. If you don't watch her, you should. She's brilliant. I love her. And she helped me get a box that I needed because she lives over in Texas. And she got one for me and sent it back via my dad, who was over there with work for a bit. And she's just lovely. She's so funny. Let's have a look. So another one that I finished this year. This was also in my project roll, but when I say project roll, it's a pillowcase. And I just roll all my projects up in it so they stay, so they don't get creased. But there's so many in there at the moment that this one did. So this one is by Jeanette Douglas and it's called Mini Pumpkin. I think it's Mini Pumpkins or Mini Pumpkin something. Absolutely loved stitching this. It went really quickly. Hope you can see that. All the different stitches. And the only thing I did, I put my initials, and I think the initials, she had hers in there, but it didn't come with, I don't think it came with an alphabet, and then just the year. I love that. I don't know how I'm going to finish it. I don't want to frame it. I haven't decided how to finish it yet though. But hey, I've got lots of finishes that I still need to fully finish. I think I was stitching on this last time, but I finished it not long after, I think. Babushka's Bees by Plum Street Samplers. Love bees. Hopefully you're getting a good look at that. My initials on that yet. Nope, so I need to do that. I need to go through all of these loads that I haven't. I do like to do that when I remember. What's this one? So this one I bought years ago. I bought the chart. My brother met his now wife and she had a little girl and she was 2 or something. I think she was around that. Her and my brother still do, got on really well, and she calls him daddy, and they've actually got a son now who's a little bit younger than mine, my nephew. But I bought this chart for him, because as soon as I saw it, I thought of him, although it does sound a bit, the words in it. Anyway, I'll show you. So Lizzie Kate, 100 years. And I changed the colours because I wanted it to look a bit more old, I don't know. So I changed it to red. I think it was green, I'm not sure. But I just thought the words were really nice. And for her, and actually since then they've had one, another one. So another one I finished is my Santa and the Mouse Hade. It's a little tiny Hade, little ornament, but I love him. I love him so much. He's stitched tent stitch, 1/1 tent stitch on 28 count, I believe. And I love him. I really want to start another one, but I have a lot of whips that I'd like to kind of get down. I've got so many things I want to start, but I want to get my whips down. So I'm kind of trying to get finishes in while still having some new starts, just not too many, which is really difficult. So this one, oh, I just realised I didn't bring some in. There's enough here. So this one, I actually stitched this part twice. I stitched it once and decided the fabric was too light and the white didn't show up enough, and I wanted it grey bluer, because that's a word. And so I stitched it again. So I've got one that I'm going to make, the other one that is lighter, I'm going to make into an ornament for the tree. And then I've got this one that I'll show you each piece, that I finished on a slightly darker fabric. And I bought this because it really reminds me of my husband. He has a beard. He says it keeps him warm in the winter. He rows and loves anything on the sea, and we both love Christmas. So it's Old Saint Nick, he sails the seas. His beard grows long so he won't freeze. And when it came out, I had to buy it for him. He also, I remember him reading Moby Dick, and it's got a big whale on it, a big white whale. So I need to finish this. I was hoping to get this one finished. I don't know if you can see that. I was hoping to get that one finished, fully finished this year, and I didn't. My son wasn't sleeping by then. But he can wait till next year. Right. Not many now. So this one is, oh, what is this one called? You'll probably scream it at me. It's a loose thread. A Brenda Gervais, and I can't remember what it's called. Hopefully you can see that. So this one I stitched on 56 count, 1/1. I don't think I changed anything. I did, I put my initials and date there. Tea and coffee dyed the fabric because it was a light yellow when I got it. I think I started this on the mania that, so it might have been in my first or second video, and I'd literally done like a teeny tiny bit of the one line of the roof. I love it so much, it's so tiny. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, whether I'm going to make it into a pincushion or some sort of flat fold, not sure. And then the last one that I've got some others, but they're on a bigger piece. The last one I've got here is Summer Schoolhouse Lesson 1, 1/1 and 28 count I love this and I can't wait to do the others. I want them all finished. But I've got so many wings that I need to get around to them. There we go. I actually don't mind having lots of whips because I hate new starts. I want to start them because I want to stitch on them, but I don't particularly like starting. I can't be bothered with finding the whole figuring out where to start. My friend Michelle just goes measuring the tip of her thumb. That's about 3 inches. And I go, oh, no, I can't do that. So it takes me longer. I stress about it way more than she does, which probably doesn't help. So I quite liked the Mania and having everything started, and then as soon as I finish one, I just go and pick another one out and just start. Sorry, I knocked the table then. I have got a few notes just to make sure that I mention a couple of things. So as I mentioned, I am doing stitch 10 in 20. I did stitch 9 last year and completed it. Didn't think I would with my little one. So my stitch 10 in 20 is, I'll just go through the things that are on my list. So the next summer schoolhouse lesson 2, I want to stitch both of these as one. So that is one of my projects. Yet again, I think I'm expecting to do way more. I start back at work in a week, so I'll have a lot less stitching time. That's those. I am going to put some things away as I go, otherwise he'll wake up and get to do that. Sorry if it's really loud. Oh, this is my advent bag for advent animals. I'm doing cat hair everywhere. I'm doing advent animals, so the next 2, Pierre Penguin and Pearly Pig. So I'm hoping to get those 2 done, and then the next 2 ornaments, so this year's ornaments for my son and daughter. Both little Santa faces. I picked up the wrong one. I love these charmed Santa faces, but you just can't get them in the UK. I don't know whether they've stopped doing them but I'd love to get a couple more. They're really cute. So I had to get this one, which is actually part of a different series. And you can also get, I think, Santa's coat, Santa's boots. I just wanted the face. Next is Shepherd's Bush Busy Bee stitching tray, and I've been stitching on this recently. Put that in front of it and then you might be able to see it. So that's where I am at the moment. Again, this was a Mania 18 start because I didn't do Mania last year. I actually don't have an awful lot left of Mania. I say not an awful lot compared to what I had. I think I did 31 starts that year for Mania. This one is, didn't get the thing out. This one is Tanya Brockmeyer of Scarlet House. It's all her fault. Although I don't think this is one she stitched. She posted a photo on Instagram of her sampler wall, and I think I spent days going into it and expanding it and trying to figure out what all the charts were. Some of them she'd posted down in the questions, and then she, Stash Sisters, if you don't watch her, Carolyn, she's great, she works at the Attic. She posted a video where she went round to Tanya's house and showed all her stitching, or lots of her stitching. And so I ended up, Brenda Keys, the sampler company, that she'd stitched several of hers and they were gorgeous. So I went, she's actually lives in the UK, and I went on her website, and you can buy them all direct from her, and bought about 5. So I didn't see this one on Tanya's, but I bought it because I wouldn't have bought them if I hadn't seen the ones that she'd done. So I started this one. I actually thought it was a reproduction sampler because it comes under the reproduction sampler title on the website, but it's not. It's a design that she's done in the style of an old sampler. So what I've decided to do is, instead of putting Hetty Child, I'm actually, my mum always used to tell me, still does every now and then, about her mum's mum and how kind she was to her and how lovely she was, how much she used to love going there. And so I've asked her what her name is. I'm going to put her name in here. I've asked her when she was born. She doesn't know, so she's going to try and find out for me. So I can put her year in there and put an age. But yeah. So this one, I love the colours of it. But when I started stitching them, they weren't those colours at all. Or didn't look like it. However, since looking at it a bit closer, they possibly were. It's just my eyes. So I've done all the border, all the green. This is the colour that is called for, but I thought they looked a bit more like mauvey. I don't actually really like purple, but I quite liked the colours that they were. And so I chose some of my own, and I went back and forth and couldn't decide whether I wanted these or whether I wanted the colour below. And in the end, just decided that I'd do the one that I chose. And so I started filling more in, as you can see down the bottom. So I started filling more of these in. There's another bit that goes on top, and then put it away. And the more I look at it, I think, well, maybe these are the right colours, but I don't know. Sorry, I saw a bit of the chart. You won't be able to do it from that. But these, like in here, is really dark, and it looks like a dark purpley sort of colour. And it wasn't at all. It was almost the same colour it was coming out. So these are the colours that I've chosen. I'm not sure you can even see that they look the right colours. So these are kind of like the dark purpley pinky colours. And this is because I went and got it back out. The original colour, just in case I decide. I don't know, but that is on my stitch 10 and 20, so I've got to figure it out sooner or later. Sooner rather than later. Fingers crossed I decide soon. So if you've got a preference of which one you prefer, next one on my, just got to make sure I've done them all. Next one is my son's stocking. So another Dimensions Gold. This one is Holiday Glow stocking, and it's so cute. So I started this in January. So cute. There were so many colours in this, it was unbelievable. In the scarf, I couldn't believe it. I'm glad it's done. So I'll be back to him next month. I do sort of a rotation at the moment, not strict. I just kind of do what I want, but with 2 main projects, just trying to get stuff finished. And then this one is by Erica Michaels. So it's the Scary Berry Silk Gauze version. So I started this at the October Milton Keynes retreat, where I meet up with loads of my friends. See you again in April. I started this on the 40 count silk gauze that comes with it. I love this. I can't wait to get back to it. Unfortunately, because I started at retreat and was probably talking too much, I actually added 2 extra stitches. So this is 2 stitches wider, but it's not really going to make much of a difference. I've got some pumpkins to stitch down here underneath. I've got to finish this side. There might be 1 or 2 little bits on this side to do, but I've got like a tree and stuff on this side to do. And then the bottom of the pumpkin is stitched in like greens, like a checkerboard pattern, and then the top is just a blue, I think. So I'll just amend it so that it's still the same shape. The pumpkins are still in the same place, and I'll just amend the checkerboard as I go on the bottom, and you won't even notice. It'll be mine. So yeah, I absolutely love it. Look how teeny tiny it is. So I'm going to be stitching on that at my retreats this year, and then eventually it will become part of my rotation. Then I've got Frosty Forest. There it is. This is where we have an avalanche. So I think I'd already done this one. I finished this one, and then I finished this one as part of my stitch 9, and it is my part of my stitch 10 in 20. I'd like to get it completely finished because I love it. I want it finished, and I don't want to stitch on it anymore. That sounds awful. My tastes have changed a lot. I've got a lot of whips. I love them all. I don't regret starting any of them. 1 or 2 of them I wish I'd done on 40 count, so I might actually pull them out, pop them back in my stash and restart them later on 40 count, but I think that's only 2. My tastes have changed, as I say, and I like a lot of samplers and a lot of bigger projects now. I still like all the Plum Street, still love Plum Street and With Thy Needle and Thread, but I love all the things that Carol Saltbox stitches, and if you haven't watched Crosshatch Quilts, Christy, all the things that she stitches, Brenda and the Serial Starter, Brenda and Laura, they are what I want to stitch. So I don't regret starting any of them, and actually I still want all the things that I've got in my stash or that I've started. I just want them finished so that I feel like I can stitch on whatever I want, that's all. So that's that. The next one, I started this one this year, and it's a stitch along by I Stitch Designs. So on Facebook, there's a Facebook group, and this one is the I Stitch Designs, I as in the letter I, Stitch Designs, Burgundy Band Sampler. If you really like it and you want to join in, if you go on that Facebook group, message Carol, she will email you all the details of how to buy the chart, where to buy the banding, absolutely everything. She's super helpful, and I bought it, got the banding, and caught up with, I think we're on week 8. Make sure that I'm not, yeah. So this is where I'm up to. This is up to, this row here is week 8, week 7, and I've just started a row of week 8. that's it. So I've got week 8 is this week. I've got until Friday. It comes out every Friday. I'm stitching it in the recommended Auvert soie, which is a burgundy. I'll show you a new one rather than a almost finished one. So it's, and that's the number. Is it gonna? Perhaps I'll show you up the right way. Nope, not gonna. So it's 2926. That's a burgundy, and I think you need 6 of them. But you could do it in any colour. You could do it in blue, black, whatever. Anything. DMC, it will look beautiful. It is gorgeous. I love it. I'll show you it one more time. And up here I did for the first time. That is hem stitch, pull thread work hem stitch. And yeah, it's lovely. Love it. So the banding I got from the Netherlands, that again was recommended by Carol of iStitch Designs. It came really quickly. The lady speaks English, so I just emailed her and said, well, I just went on the website, saw what I wanted, emailed the lady that Carol gives you the email, and she sent me a PayPal invoice, and it came less than a week later, and I was stitching away. Love that. And then the last one that's in my stitch 10 in 20 is, oh, I haven't tightened it up, is my acorns. So try not to. So this is where I'm up to. There's more close-ups on my Instagram, but this one, if you remember, I'm stitching in memory of my stepdad who passed away, and he always used to wear these blues in like check shirts, plaid shirts, and it was a running joke that was what he wore all the time. And I didn't stitch on it because I couldn't get the frame and stand out and everything with the little one, so I haven't stitched on it. In fact, probably since not long after my last video. It got put away, and then I got it back out again at the beginning of this month, and I finished this band because that only had like 2 or 3 done. I did the dividing band, that one, the dividing band, that one. I need to do the next dividing band, and I wanted to do the next step band before I go back to work. We'll see, unlikely. But I absolutely love it, and every second I stitch on it I think of my stepdad and how much I miss him and how funny he was and how amazing it was that he was ever in my life and in my daughter's life. So it's, yeah, a really nice piece. I love it. I can't wait to give it to my mum because it's a surprise. She's not seen it, so hopefully she's not watching this because I didn't want her. She doesn't know I do them, so she'd have had to have found it by accident. My other whips, the other things that have been and will be working on this year, but not as my main things. What I tend to do is I have one main project each month, and at the moment I switch that each month. So that would be my little one stocking was my main one for January, and then I'll have a little one to stitch on when I can't get that out or when I'm too tired, and then the next month is acorns, and again I have a little one, so in the hope that the little ones I get to finish that month or close to, but I make good progress on the big ones as well. Then once I finish the little one, I just change in another little one, and hopefully once I finish one of these, my plan is to change in Frosty Forest to try and get that one done. But as I say, I'm not completely strict on it. If I don't want to stitch on one of them, I'll drag something else out, because I'd rather stitch than not stitch at all. So one of my absolute favourite pieces, thanks to Michelle Cozy Egg, and now Socks for Mum, she's stitching it and has done loads there. It's just gorgeous, I love it. So I'm hoping that if I can get these 3 that I've planned, the big ones this year, not that they're massive, but this will become one of my main ones next year, because I'd like this one finished next year. I love it. So this is Crown Bird Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. You've probably all seen it before. Sorry for the glare. So as several other people have said, my Sister Scarlet, I'm doing it in the Belsoir silks, and just the other, so the MPIs I'm not doing, they're DMC. But the Belsoirs, I'm doing the Belsoirs. The Sister Scarlet isn't red anymore. I got it through and it was really pink, and that's not what I wanted. So I messaged Classic Colourworks, who do the silks, and asked, did they have, obviously dye lots change, I wasn't complaining, just did they have a recommendation of anything else? And they said that something had changed and it was actually washing out. So the ones that they dye on a red base rather than like a white base, them ones are staying more true to colour, and half the colour isn't washing out. So she recommended cranberry or tulip. And so I got cranberry and tulip was what I went for, because tulip goes, I can show you here actually, it goes from like a dark red black to a nice rich red. So this is where I'm at. Grab this. So I finished all of the green and all of the crowns on the border. That's probably more true to colour of the fabric. And I've already done the top corner there, and I've started filling in, just trying to get more done of the border and getting all the reds in as soon as I can, but I've started filling in the other colours, and the next on that section there will be red. I'd like to get the border on this finished this year, and then next year just do the fill-in, if I can do that. I literally get a warm fuzzy feeling when I stitch on this. It's so nice. It's Lakeside Linen Vintage Meadow Rue. Love the fabric, love the Belsoir, and I love the design, and I can't wait to like make it a main project. But my son needs his stocking by Christmas, and I'd like to get acorns to my mum by August, framed by August. So that's the DMCs and Belsoirs, and that's the red. It's really dark reds into bright reds, and it's gorgeous. I love it. So that's Tulip by Belsoir. Back in the bag. And then the other one is Paradise Lost, another Plum Street Samplers. And I'd like to get this one done next year as well. I don't know whether I will. And this is on Vintage Pecan Butter. Ouch. There. Getting up and clawing me as she gets up slowly. This is Vintage Pecan Butter, and I've done the top of the tree, and I've started the banner. I was hoping to get all of the outline of the banner done so that when I went to retreats I could just do fill in the same with the cloud. So I'd like it this year. It's not likely, but I'd like to get the banner completed and the cloud completed this year. And then, as I say, possibly next year make this one and Crown Bird Sampler my main projects. Just heard a thump. I hope that doesn't wake my little one up. It's doing so well. I'm all asleep when I can feel it now. Right, so I think that's all of those. I've already spoken about my rotation. I've been doing a bit of dyeing of linen. I've posted photos of that on Instagram, and I've really enjoyed that, and I want to do some more of that. I've just got to get some more linen. I have got lots of kitted up samplers and projects. Some of them I've kitted with just plain fabrics, and I'd actually like to dye those. So I might start doing that whilst I'm waiting for some more linen to do. This weekend I'm going to the Southampton retreat, so I plan on working on the silk berry, scary berry, and I might take Hetty and Crown Bird rather than taking, I don't want to take my frame, so just thinking of things. I stitch in hand a lot now, which I found meant that I could stitch a lot whilst the little one was sleeping, or yeah, just in between the kids playing, and when I'm tired of a night, I don't want to drag the frame out and stuff like that. So stitching in hands worked a lot better for me. Looking forward to the retreat and getting some progress. So I've managed to get through to the end of what I was going to say without my little one waking up. Yeah, so hopefully I'll get another one done soon. The only other thing I wanted to quickly do, Christy at Crosshatch Quilts wanted to see my dog. So 2 seconds. Excuse I'm in the kids' playroom. Sorry, I'll put you back so you can. There we go. So this is mine. So this is Dolly. She's a French bulldog, and she's so beautiful. So there you go. That's her. She was asleep, so I feel bad now. Right, go on then. Go back on the sofa. Good girl. So yeah, that's it from me, and longer than I was expecting, but hopefully I'll be back again soon. Enjoy your stitching, and hopefully I'll see you next month. Bye!